We have a college basketball video today, and let's find out if Villanova still has a realistic chance at making the NCAA tournament. Let's go. The Villanova Wildcats just had one of their most unfortunate losses of the whole entire season yesterday at Xavier. Letting up 45 points in the second half after being up 8 at halftime is ridiculous for a team that needed to win this game. An absolute collapse out of the Villanova Wildcats, something that we are far too familiar with as Wildcat fans. Let's take a look at the Big East standings after that game, though. Villanova sits at 5th place in the Big East at 11-7. In Big East play, they are doing pretty solid. Sitting at 4-3 right in the beginning of Big East play is not too bad. But they really need to turn on the Jets if they want any chance at making the NCAA tournament. If they would have beaten Xavier yesterday, it would have bumped their chances all the way up to almost 60% to make the NCAA tournament. And right now they're at 11-7, but let's take a look at odds to make the NCAA tournament with how many wins you have. Also, keep in mind, Villanova has 13 games left. So with the Big East tournament, let's say they win 2 games there. The most that they even can get if they go undefeated is 26. And that's if they only win 2 in the Big East tournament. And we'll take a look at Villanova's remaining schedule. It does not get super easy. I think it's very likely we end up with 20 to 22 wins this season as well. That's before the Big East tournament, though, so you can bump that number up to possibly 23, 24. And after their loss yesterday, their tournament hopes sit at 25.4% and an at-large bid at 18.8%. Obviously, that will increase with a win at home against Providence Friday, though. Their projected NCAA tournament seed is pretty interesting. It is sitting at a 10 seed. Which for Villanova, I think that's great because I don't know if they have the star power to take down a 1 seed in the second round, but they can definitely compete with a 2 seed. If Villanova was going to make the tournament, I think they would be a 9, 10, or an 11. Let's take a look at their remaining schedule, though. This Friday at Wells Fargo, Villanova plays the Providence Friars, who have had not too great of a start to their season. I think Villanova will take that game. After that game, they will move to 12-7, and then we'll host Georgetown Monday, January 20th. I think this game is really going to determine the fate for the Villanova Wildcats. And then on Friday, January 24th, after hopefully a 2-game winning streak, they have to travel all the way to Marquette. That game they probably will not win. Then on February 1st, they have a huge game against Creighton. If they end up winning that game, I think their odds to make the NCAA tournament are going to absolutely go through the roof because there's no chance they're losing to DePaul in DePaul and at home against Xavier. Xavier is not sweeping us. At home against St. John's as well is going to be a very huge game. A game I think the Villanova Wildcats can win. And I definitely like their odds to walk into Providence and win that game as well. Walking into UConn after beating them at home already is very unlikely. So I think Villanova definitely loses that game. And then at home against Marquette is going to be a huge game as well. But then they end the season with Seton Hall, which is probably a win, a home win against Butler, and probably a loss against Georgetown. That puts us just above 20 wins. I believe Villanova is going to win 10 out of the remaining 13 games before the Big East tournament. But let's also take a look at how many teams have made the NCAA tournament from the Big East recently. In 2023, there were 5 teams that represented the Big East in the 2023 NCAA tournament. Those 5 teams were Creighton, of course, UConn, Marquette, Providence, and Xavier. And with 5 teams making it, that definitely bolsters hope for Villanova. But after last season, with only 3 teams making it from the Big East, it's definitely very detrimental to us. Do I think the Villanova Wildcats make the NCAA tournament? It's going to be very difficult to predict that, but I think the Villanova Wildcats end the season on a hot streak and make the NCAA tournament. Comment down below your prediction. Yes, it is a long shot, but I think this team has a lot of good talent, and inside sources have told me that Jay Wright is coaching practices. I think Villanova will also have a pretty solid record in the Big East tournament. I think they win at least 2 or 3 games, which is definitely going to bolster their resume. Comment down below. Do you think Villanova makes the NCAA tournament? Thanks, guys.